Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano. We have some disturbing news tonight. But first, I'm drinking Dunkin' with Frank, the Patriot Bald Eagle here. If you have to hit pause on this video to get your coffee or whatever beverage you deem necessary, go ahead and do that now, as this will be a lengthy discussion. I feel like this is becoming a nightly event here on Recalls. Guys, we got to watch what's being put in our food. I'm not one to usually sound the alarm, but it's getting close. My hand is up on the bell, not quite ringing it yet, but it is getting ever more close to ringing that bell. Guys, so now we have an investigation being launched on the applesauce pouches recalled for lead that could have been contaminated intentionally. Now, this report is from USA Today, but it is all over the internet if you would like to check this out. This was a couple days ago. Going to read some of this from USA Today. Don't worry, I will be getting into the spinach recall that's affecting 7 states, right? Florida being one of them. Florida had tested some of the different spinach, and apparently there is listeria. Listeria in the fresh something. We'll get in. I know Publix was one of the brands involved, and we will get into that here after this. But I had just seen this. I was getting ready to do the video on the spinach, and it is just so much. Guys, we're in trouble. This is unreal how much this stuff is happening. We need to make sure that, for one, whatever foods we're making right now that we're cooking, I am staying out of the produce aisle with the cantaloupe. Everything else, guys, it is just, it's crazy. It really is. I don't even know what to say, but we are going to say what USA Today is saying on some of this investigation. They start off by saying the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is investigating whether recalled cinnamon-flavored applesauce pouches, which had high lead concentrations and have sickened at least 65 children, were intentionally contaminated. Some of you guys on the channel were saying this, and, I'm not one to jump to conclusions and stuff like that. But now there's an extra investigation going on. And unless they thought that this was a possibility, they would not even put this on the news. So they go with a little bit of review here. In late October, if you missed what we were talking about a little over a month ago. In late October, the FDA issued a public health alert advising against consuming or buying Wanna apple cinnamon fruit puree pouches because they may contain elevated levels of lead. Now, it wasn't just Wanna, it was Weiss brand and Schnucks. Okay, so subsequently, the agency added Schnuck brand and Weiss brand products to the recall. I didn't see that. The agency has gotten 65 reports of illnesses potentially linked to the products, and all impacted have been under 6 years old, the FDA said this week. Now, I'd argue it's a lot more than that. During its investigation, the agency has found that the lead may have been added as a, quote, an intentional act on the part of someone in the supply chain, and we're trying to sort or figure that out. Jim Jones, the FDA's deputy commissioner for human foods, told Politico, which first reported this development. They go on to the Quaker Oats recall, which we just covered that the other day. I feel like all of these coffee rants are turning into food recalls, but we want to make sure everyone out here is safe, right? That's what we do on the channel. We cover food. If you're new to the channel, we go into the stores every day trying to save people money. Now we have to go into the stores and point out things that could be harmful. Today I was at Meijer and I went over the different cantaloupes and I didn't say anything in the video, and I went back to edit. It was already too late, but it's like, I'm staying away from cantaloupe. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't care where it's from. There's been salmonella everywhere. All 50 states now have had salmonella with And I know that the number was 4050, and then they had made from Mexico, some other places. You can check the FDA's website to see the numerous amounts that have been affected, but people are dying from the salmonella outbreak, right? And then we have hundreds that are being hospitalized, right? This doesn't include probably the thousands that have gotten sick from it and just got over it and thought they were just sick, right? Because, how would recalled applesauce pouches get contaminated with lead? The FDA is focusing on lead-contaminated cinnamon being potentially added as an economically motivated adulteration. And that is what NBC News reported. So take that with a grain of salt. Food makers may use economically motivated adulteration, or EMA, by substituting an ingredient, quote, to make it appear better or of greater value, according to the FDA. But the agency also says that such actions may be food fraud and result in, quote, lead poisoning from adulterated spices and allergic reactions to a hidden substituted ingredient that contains even just one food allergen. Okay, so I'm not going to go into this because we need to go over the spinach recall that's going on, because I know a lot of us out here love our spinach, me included. We need to find out what's going on with that. So this has already been through. We've done a video of the different applesauces. They're doing an investigation to see if it's been, extra tainted with. I don't even know what to say about this stuff, guys. We talk about preparing and making sure that we have things in our preps. We're talking about snacks, Quaker oats, Quaker granola bars, Quaker cereal, things that have a lot of grains and are somewhat nutritious for us in a lot of different ways. People were given different recipes on how to make your own granola bars. How do you get salmonella in a granola bar? I do know how, like people who aren't washing their hands or this kind of stuff. And, but even at that, doesn't that go from oven to package? Like, how does that happen? Like, they have to be cooked. So I don't understand that. I saw people leaving that in the comments, and I was just thinking to myself, like, how is this even a thing? But apparently it is. So we need to watch what is going in the food, guys. We need to watch what's going into the food. We need to make sure we are checking everything. Okay, now there are several articles that talk about the spinach recall. You can find it mostly on the FDA website. That will give all of the numbers. However, I did look over food safety news. So we're going to check with this because it's worded out a little more nicely. And they do have some of the different numbers and stuff, which we'll go over as well. Food safety news, I do like this website. So it's the Fresh Express bagged spinach and the Publix brand spinach. Publix store, if you are not familiar. Grocery store. Fresh Express recalls bagged spinach after state testing shows listeria contamination. Fresh Express has issued a recall of Fresh Express spinach, 8-ounce size, with product code G332. G as in girl, 332. And a use-by date of December 15th. So, yesterday, right? So, this came out 2 days ago, okay? 3 days ago, I guess. So, chances are, by the time this came out, you may have already eaten it. Okay. So, there were a couple comments the other day that some people have left that what's going on with our public health programs and our different labs and all this stuff. They're supposed to be on top of this. Now, I can tell you with Kroger is on top of all of the different products they put out. That is why you don't see Kroger products usually ever being recalled. They have labs and labs and labs that are constantly testing these things every day. Now, I understand that some products are made from other areas, and then Public Spinach came from somewhere else. I guess the same place that this Fresh Express did. But, we never really hear too much of Kroger mixed in all of this. And I know, I knew one lab technician personally, right? I know who they are. I know what they do, and it's like, why? It just doesn't seem like, it seems like this is kind of falling apart. Like, I feel like everything that's being tested isn't being tested enough. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having recalls every freaking day. Whew, okay. And they say, let's take a sip of coffee here. I knew this was going to be a rough rant tonight. And I'm sure you guys are sick of me coming on here talking about all these recalls, but like I said, we cover food on this channel, and this has to do with food, and we need to make sure that if you haven't heard about, because have you heard about it on the news, on the idiot box in there? I haven't heard about this. I hear about this stuff from you guys. Somebody will leave it in the comments or send me an email. Thank you. Nobody mentioned the spinach, but I mean, everybody was talking about the oats, all these different things. I would have never probably known. I mean, I might have, because I check these things now on a daily basis, but thank you all for the help. That's what I'm getting at. Everybody's making sure that everybody's paying attention to these things going on. Like I said, we need to pay attention to the food because it's coming up every day. Every day it's something new. Every day or every other day, I feel like it's 2 or 3 a week. I can't even cover them all. I try. So Public Spinach, 9-ounce size with the same product code, G as in girl, 332. G332, and a use by date of December 14th, 2023. So it would have been a day before best if used by date, or use by date, as they say, of the fresh spinach, because of possible contamination with listeria. The 2 recalled spinach items were distributed to retailers in 7 states. Pay attention. Alabama, Florida, Georgia, so it's south. It is south, and probably moving north. And as a matter of fact, as we go through here, we are moving north as we read these. Ironically, in alphabetical order. Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia. Okay? So, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. You like how I did it on the map there? It's all on the East Coast. All on the East Coast and South. I'll tell you guys, it is getting real. We need to pay attention to these things. When I was talking about some of these things over the last few months, I just kind of had a feeling like it was going to start getting bad toward the end of the year, with all these different events going on all around the world, all of these angry people with us angry with other people, all these different things. I didn't know, and I should have, that food might start getting targeted. I'm not saying that other people are putting stuff in the food or anything like that, but I read that story about there's an investigation going on to see if that ingredient or whatever they did to the applesauce is somebody putting stuff into the applesauce. I had a feeling. I was like, this is something that is targeting children, because these are children's foods. And as you see, 65 children hospitalized. Okay? So we need to pay attention to these things, because you start messing with the kids, we're going to have problems. And I'll tell you what, we need to, I don't know resolutions, but I was glad to hear that there's another investigation going into that, because I always knew there was something more than what they were saying. Okay, and then they have the product numbers listed on here on Food Safety News website, same as what you're going to find in the FDA website. UPC code for these, I guess, is important because they wouldn't list it otherwise. For the Fresh Express spinach is 071279132044. 071-279 and 132044. And that has affected, this one has affected Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. So those states for that fresh express spinach product there. Publix spinach product, UPC code 041415 008861. So those two, 041415 008861. So if you have those and they have those UPC codes on them, yeah, throw it away, get your money back, do whatever you got to do. Could be contaminated with listeria. It was tested and they found it. No confirmed reports. So there could be people out there that have these in their fridge and probably could be eating them right now, and it may just not affect you. It may not have gotten into one of these, but they did find it in a Florida lab. So it has been found. Pay attention. You know, I don't even know what to think about any of this stuff anymore, guys. It's ridiculous. And the states affected were all 7 that we mentioned before with the Publix. Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. Those were the distribution states. Okay. And they say product codes are located on the front of the packages below the use-by dates. Photos are provided for ease of identifying the products. And they have a couple photos on the website if you want to check that out. No illnesses have been reported in connection with the recall, and no other Fresh Express products have been recalled. I almost wanted to say as of yet. Okay, hopefully they are rigorously testing some of the other products as well. Remember, not long ago, there was a huge recall on ice cream. I forget which, there was a few different ice creams that they had found listeria in it. And the date was way past, like people would have already eaten it. You know, it's like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we need to make sure that our lab technicians and people who are, they have to be testing this stuff every day. And I understand like cultures and stuff like that could take a while. So maybe you need to bring those dates back a little bit, right? I mean, I'm not a genius when it comes to this, but I'm pretty good at math, you know? I don't know why I knocked on wood there. I don't know, guys. It's hard for me to talk about these things because I hate delivering such disturbing news. Probably thousands of you right now are going to be checking your refrigerator to see if you have any of this spinach. We have a lot of viewers that shop at Publix on this channel, so that's really wanted to get this out here as quick as possible. Let's see. The recall was initiated after routine sampling conducted by the Florida Department of Agriculture yielded a positive result for listeria in a randomly selected package of spinach. And this is just a random pack. Oh, yeah, no, it's not luck. Believe me, it's not luck. Fresh Express immediately notified affected retailers and instructed them to remove the recalled items from store shelves and all inventories. Yeah. If consumers have the recalled products in the refrigerators, they should be discarded and not consumed. Duh. Oh, boy. To obtain a refund or for more information, consumers may call the Fresh Express Consumer Response Center at 1-800-242-5472. Again, that's the Fresh Express Consumer Response Center at 1-800-242-5472. Refunds are also available where purchased. So, now see, that's what I don't get. Like, you have something that's possibly contaminated. You want to take it back to the store? Like, I don't know. They should just give you your money back. Like, because chances are you probably don't have the receipt, right? Well, maybe take a picture of it and send it to them and then throw it away. Why handle it more? Why take it and put it in a bag or something, even if you're careful? The person who's working there may not be careful or forget about it. I'm not saying that would happen, but, the possibility of it happening in today's day and age is pretty good considering, I don't know. I don't want to say we're turning into the world of idiocracy here, but I mean, we got to be extra careful. For those that are always careful, need to be mindful of some of your family and friends that aren't. I have a lot of friends, not a lot of friends that actually I have a good friends that really are pretty mindful of everything, honestly. But I have some family members and different friends and stuff that aren't, might be a little more, not careless, but, they may not think, right away, and they may forget about it, you know? And to all my friends and family out there, I don't mean anything bad by that. And we've all been guilty of that before. Like, well, maybe I shouldn't eat that chocolate bar. Oh, that chocolate bar fell on the floor, and then 3 days later, I forgot it fell on the floor or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of going at this point, guys. Just ranting. Just ranting. Turning this computer off because I am getting a headache. I'll tell you what. So many things, guys. So many things. So, one thing I kind of wanted to talk about here for just a minute. We've been getting a lot of comments lately on items disappearing off the shelves. I've been trying to cover them where we see them or don't see them in some of the stores that we go to frequently. I've noticed in some stores we'll see ibuprofen and there'll be plenty of it. And then that same store won't have any acetaminophen or Tylenol. And then I'll go to another store that have plenty of Tylenol and no ibuprofen. There's no real rhyme or reason. What I think it is, at least for right now in this present time, is that whoever's paying the most money for each or different product is the one getting it first. Like today at Meijer, I saw they were pretty low on ibuprofen, but they had plenty of Tylenol, right? We were in Walmart, saw they had plenty of ibuprofen and no Tylenol. So, I mean, a few things of it probably might be gone now, I don't know. Kroger prices are a little higher, but I will say that they do have pretty much all of it. So that could have something to do with it. Something, I don't know. I try to find an answer for anything for you guys. But sometimes it's just hard. Sometimes we just don't have an answer. But as to the direction of which this video has gone, guys, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. And we had a feeling it would. We've been saying it's going to be a long winter. These little things are going to be popping up left and right, whether prices are going up, whether we have some shortages, whether we have shortages or not on certain foods. So we'll get creative. We're going to have food, right? When I say food shortages or empty shelves somewhere, it's not like we're out of food. So please don't take that the wrong way. I've had some people comment on the channel, oh, that's crazy. There's plenty of food. I never said there wasn't plenty of food. We're covering things that we're not finding, like salt, right? Toilet paper of some brands that are coming back in at higher prices or shrinkflation. Been seeing shrinkflation float around the internet a lot lately from different companies giving off different things that have shrinkflated because now that people like me and maybe a handful of others are bringing it to some people's attention. Now they want to make sure that they're bringing it to your attention so that you're finding out from them and not from someone like me. And that's okay. That's fine. That's exactly what I want them to do. I want them to come out and say, yes, these products have shrunk and they're the same price. Do what you want. Do what you will. I mean, that's what we've been wanting the whole time. Right? I mean, we need this information to get out here as much as possible so that you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your money. And now making sure that the food is safe. Making sure the food is safe. Guys, thank you all for helping on the recall list. It is getting to the point, I'm going to try and cover some more things as we go along, but I keep coming up with these other news reports. I may have to add another video into the day here to cover some more news that we're wanting to discuss. But as for right now, I feel like what we are going over right here in some of these coffee rants are the most important. We need to make sure that we don't have these products sitting out there in the open and making sure that we, and I know some people have said that they don't believe the recalls. Whether we believe them or not, we have to take it seriously. We have to take it seriously. We can't just say, oh, well, this is all false. They want us to just throw away the food and all that stuff. Who knows these days, but I have to, we can't just go by that. We can't just go by that. As much as Some things I won't talk about on the channel here. Some of you probably know my opinion on some things. But we have to go by whatever grain of truth that we have right now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Until the next coffee rant, have a good night.